Futures, as you can see, going back and forth between the red and the green after the Dow's worst day in 4 months. These China trade worries are deepening as we get more on how China reportedly backtrack on talks. And now the president tweets a few moments ago the reason for the China pullback and attempted renegotiation of the trade deal is the sincere hope that they will be able to negotiate with Joe Biden or one of the very weak Democrats and thereby continue to rip off the U.S. $500 billion a year for years to come. Guess what? That's not going to happen. China has just informed us that they, Vice Premier, are now coming to the U.S. to make a deal. We'll see, but I am very happy with over $100 billion a year in tariffs filling U.S. coffers. Great for U.S., not good for China. Futures on a net basis, Jim, reacted positively to that.
Yeah, I mean, look, this idea of them coming to make a deal, even though it's not is new information, but at the same time, I mean, look, the amount of posturing, I don't want to fall victim as a member of the press to this minute-by-minute analysis of tweet, but this is a tweet that you put out when the Dow's down 500 points. You put this tweet out because some of the price-weighted stocks that matter in the Dow will rally. If anyone thinks that this is a gross exaggeration or not a serious take on what's happening in the White House, they have not made enough calls. This is about getting the Dow up a little bit, but also pressuring them.
It's a fine balance.
Scylla, my friend Scylla,
Charybdis.
and my friend Charybdis.
Yeah.
Now, if I said that they were stocks, people would say, yeah, I'm buying Scylla, but I'm short Charybdis.
How long can you keep doing that? And all right,
how about 12:01 Friday morning?
Right.
Is there going to be a state of execution? Will the governor, who's the governor in this case, that could call Shawshank and stop this?
That's a good question. I think you're looking at him. That's it.
Okay. Well, what do you think?
I have, like you say, how are you supposed to know? You can do your best. You can rely on some reporting from reliable places. Right. You can do your own phone calls and try to get a sense. We can talk to some of the people involved. But it's still very difficult to know. The Chinese apparently reneged on quite a bit.
Huge number of 100 pages.
Quite a bit of what had
they picked like their least favorite 50 pages.
Upon. Particularly, it seems, they were very reluctant to subject to changes in law. In Chinese law.
Exactly
and
right.
So what are they willing to now offer with the prospect of the tariffs going into place a couple of days from now? I don't know, Jim.
I don't know either, but I'm so glad you did something that you're not supposed to do. He said he didn't know. I think that we're in a world where we don't know. I mean, I've always liked to come up with answers and never liked to punt.
Well, I mean, any color we get now is suspect because a few days ago, the thinking was that a deal was possible in 48 hours.
Right.
So if we're gullible enough to buy that, what are we supposed to do with any of this?
I don't know. You know, I had the good pleasure of listening to Ron Chernow, who wrote Hamilton at the White House Correspondents'. It was one of the most powerful speeches of all time. And he talked about how Hamilton used to put fake news out in a newspaper written by two different guys, really Hamilton, and giving it to Washington, trying to fool Washington, father of the country. So, I mean, like, you know, we got a new one thing, but it's not new in our country, but it's sure confusing people.
Reuters has a good TikTok citing multiple sources on the number of things they reportedly backtrack on, a dozen things, if not more, in all 7 chapters of this deal: IP theft, access to financial services, even currency manipulation. Washington Post today says that the president is prepared to take a hard line going into 2020, that he sees this as a political play that makes him look good, makes him look tough, and this argument now that you can try to run out the clock and face a Democrat in January of 21.
You know, what's so interesting is we always hear about the Chinese have a 200-year plan. I look at that export number that they had yesterday. I want to know if they got a 200-hour plan. But, you know, we always say there's a group of people in this country, if you didn't know better, you think they're owned by the Chinese, who say, listen, forget that. They're very much like the people who said, hey, listen, man, Stalin has game, we don't. Like, you know, go back, like Stalin was really powerful. I mean, Stalin, it turned out to be a paper tiger. It just took a little while.
It took quite a while.
Well, it's okay who won in the end.
They do have a long-term plan.
Yeah,
we tend to.
You know, Khrushchev's plan was incredible. You ever read Khrushchev's plan after what he did at Stalingrad? What his whole rap was, the 100-year plan by Khrushchev? You don't think much about that, do you?
No. But
how about Brezhnev's plan to take over the world?
The Chinese have done a pretty good job following the plan since Deng Xiaoping, right? I mean,
they cut the power in 45?
They've taken more or less, what, 700 million people out of dire poverty? They still got a few more to go, but I mean, they've done okay, Jim.
Well, they've done okay. I don't care. Tell me what you've done for me lately. Where's the look? I don't want to get into a big debate here. I'm just saying that the president does say, hey, listen, I'm in it for a little bit more than you think. I'm not about. I mean, I think the president's probably like saying, hey, they got 20 guys over there. Maybe it's going to be like a brokered. It's going to be a brokered convention, the Democrats. But you're going to deal with me. What do you think of that?
Jamie Dimon on Bloomberg saying that he still believes there's an 80% chance of a deal.
Yeah,
and we talked to Roger
number?
Altman here yesterday, who says this is going to get a little sticky in the next several weeks, but it's in neither's interest to take months.
Well, how about a 1201 if he says, you know what, we're close to a deal, so I'm going to give it another 6 weeks. Or at 1201, he says, look, here's 5 things that they completely reneged on, and this is why we in America have had it with them. I don't know.
We're walking away. All right, so what do you do if you're an investor right now?
Well, I soul searched on this for since 2:30. And I wanted to come on air, and I said, you know what? I'm going to say you have to sit on your hands at this point. We went down a lot. I cannot recommend buy. I cannot recommend sell.
So you just do nothing.
Yeah. Now, tomorrow on Twitter, I'm going to be considered as someone who doesn't have a pulse and has been brain dead, and they've said I'm 50 over 20, flatline. But sometimes I think you have to say to yourself, this is a dicey moment, because had I said at 8:53
exactly.
that Trump was going to give in, I mean, at 8:54, maybe a fool.
Exactly. Now, given yesterday's action, days with 83% down volume often are signs of maybe some short-term bottoming.
Well, that's why I don't want to sell anymore.
I see.
That statistic tells me not to sell. To buy some weakness today may be right, but to sell seems too precipitous to me after what we've had these last few days.
That's difficult call. Yeah, it is a difficult call, and as we've said before, something that nobody has an edge on. You can't look to analysts on this.
What happened if James Gorman gets involved directly with the Uber pricing? They figure out exactly the level that Uber opens that's going to make it so the buyers don't sell. They've locked up all the people who just got stock in the last 48 hours. You know that there's a lot of people who just got stock in the last 48 hours. And he games it correctly, so people say, you know what? The Uber thing is done. Maybe the president's doing the right thing. The Chinese can go back. And then suddenly you say, well, what the hell was Cramer thinking? Not that they would blast me, but that seems to, I'm a good pinata on these things. On Wednesday morning when he said sell, I'm not saying that. Uber could be very important how they price it. And the president tweets, listen, we're closer than we thought, or they gave in on 50 paid. You look like a fool if you sold. I think that's what matters. I don't want to look foolish.
I'm hearing on Uber that they are tightening the upper end of the range.
Yes, I am hearing
tightening
that
the
too.
upper end, not going higher.
No, but this
they're
is
44
good.
to 50, so maybe they move up 48 to 50 or something like that, or I don't know. We'll see.
Your information is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's going around.
Do homework, I know.
Yeah. That's what people.
I was doing someone was
stuff.
doing a story on Tesla. I was working with the street. He said, I got to do more homework. I said, what? Homework? He's letting the facts get in the way of the story, David. We are in a dicey moment. Facts do matter, okay? Even false facts.